was your biggest change in parenting when you first got diagnosed?
I don't think there was a change. I just think there was a lot of fear in the beginning.
Okay.
But when my life completely changed, I had to start using a wheelchair. I just told the boys, you know what? I'm just going to keep fighting. I want to keep doing things, and I'm going to make you proud. I want you to be like me. You know, so I just kept fighting.
You do still feel alone sometimes?
Every day, every day, every day.
Why?
There just a lot of thinking, a lot of not knowing, not you know, like a lot of pain, a lot of frustration, not enough sleep, a lot of thinking about everybody else. Everybody else is in a group. I think about everybody. I pray about everybody. I try to. It's just rough. I ain't gonna lie. It's just rough.
Hoping that, because this is what this is for. I know a lot of you guys have probably even better redemption type stories than I do because of what MS did, and what MS has done, has taken from you. So yeah, I think this is gonna be like a cool little thing. You are married, right?
Yes, married 17 years.
Oh, great, great, great. Now, how's MS complicated marriage for you? Because I know it can be kind of complicated.
I wouldn't say it really has complicated our marriage. I would say, to be completely honest, if anything, it has made it stronger.
Well, that's a good term.
In our situation, Alan, my husband, yeah, he's taken the role of being a caregiver very seriously. And he wanted to have children as much as I did. So we agreed that I would stop working, even the part-time position that I was working when we had children. So I am now a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
And he does his best to be as supporting as possible.
That is so awesome.
And it is. And it's not very often that you hear these kind of stories. So that's one of the reasons why I want to share that it is possible. It does happen. You may not hear about it,
Yeah,
but it does happen.
and to do in different categories, because a lot of us still aren't able to walk. But there are some things that we need to push the envelope at, and because if we get timid and scared and just constantly pull back and just get up in the shell, that's not going to help, to be honest. And that's something that I was stating about the fact that even though we might not have you might not have mobility in your leg or whatnot, that doesn't mean that you don't still try and exercise your brain and try and send those signals down with trying to move, because you never know, you might just wake up one morning and your big toe is moving, and to have that happen is fabulous, and it's not going to happen if you're not doing it.
I agree. I mean, it's very important to perform some level of exercise. You have to stimulate those neurotransmitters to act, to respond, and your body to respond appropriately, and it just won't happen from nothing.
To those people that have family members that aren't supporting them, they're not really family. And I will contest to you that the leader of my MS Society group, Sherry McDonald, her son is probably got to be one of the most outstanding caregivers I've ever seen. Sherry is immobile and she's in a wheelchair, and her son does a lot of things for her, right? She is still the most upbeat and positive person that you'll ever meet. I mean, and she's a cheery person. She takes every day like it is, a new day, a new challenge. And her son is there back behind her, supporting her and making certain that his mom can, function. And so for every family member you don't have that's not going to support you, there is somebody in your family that will do it. And remember, family doesn't have to be blood. Heck, LaRon, you're my family, right? And so you find that person that is going to support you and understand you. And if they don't give a crap to do either one of those things, they're not really your friend. They're not really your family.
Nope. How old was she again when she got diagnosed?
She was 16. So she was,
and
she's 25 now. she's 25
and
now.
how did you find out?
She had a severe episode. So she was in band. So initially she was in band and her fingertips started going numb. So I thought she had carpal tunnel because, cell phones started becoming really big then. They was doing that 2-thumb text thing with the letters,
Yeah.
Remember when you had to hit them 3 times, 333, and you had to,
Yeah.
And they was stuck, and then it was like all typing. They was in the chat rooms. It was during that time. It was a really big deal. And so I couldn't pull her away from the computer stuff and all that. And then she played saxophone. And so I thought she had carpal tunnel, but then that turned into like her arms and then around her face. Then she lost her vision, and then she couldn't walk without holding on to the side of the wall. And it all happened within a very, very, very short time, like 3 weeks, like a 3 period. She went blind in both eyes, and the only thing she could see was shadows.
Was MS the first diagnosis?
MS was her first diagnosis, and I think they gave her the MS diagnosis so fast is because we already had it in my family. My sister was already diagnosed, and she had been diagnosed in the early 90s. My sister was.
Okay.
And so I was already familiar. And at first I thought, well, if it wasn't carpal tunnel, I actually thought she had juvenile diabetes because the symptoms were very similar. And MS in a teenager at that time, when it happened, because this was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. It wasn't normal.
It wasn't normal.
Found.
Like they didn't even know what to do with her. Like, because she was so young, they didn't have, a neurologist didn't want to touch her because she wasn't an adult, and children neurologists didn't know enough about MS because they weren't specialized in the field. So I had to fight to get her into the Shepherd Center in Atlanta. But they ended up taking her because, I mean, she was taller than me. You know what I'm saying? She was adult sized. She was just 16 years old in age. But so after a little persuading.
You are a female woman, right?
I am. Yes, I am.
Very strong.
Very strong female, okay?
And you have...
And I have MS.
Yes.
And I do understand.
Yes.
So, when was the man's on? The man was on what night?
Just basically, like, being silent. And we have a tendency of...
I enjoyed it when the men was on. They came along with you. And that's what I like. Yeah,
because, like I was saying, is me recently, especially recently, going into the doctor's office, and I haven't been to this particular doctor's office in a long time, and it changed, and it's like a whole bunch of women in the waiting room, and maybe 2 men. Yeah. And I don't know if it was just I just came on 2 men day, or it's just men are like, I ain't going. Or they could have been somewhere else.
They probably was somewhere else. That's probably what it was. Because I don't. Anyway. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Diagnosed with an illness like MS and whatnot, and people tend to run from you, and like you contagious. They wonder why you can't do the things that you used to do. You lose friends. You lose your support group. Your spouse, girlfriends, heck, even family changes on you. I'm not sure if you guys could hear me on my headset. I was trying to figure out if anybody could hear me. So I'm not sure if anybody's watching. So it's like a hard pill to swallow for someone to tell you that you have a disease that can't be cured, and you go from a walking status to limping to foot dragging to not being able to work, not being able to what you would call, quote unquote, having fun, with friends and families, with your kids. And you get hit with something like that, and the first thing you're wondering is what's next, right? How are you going to cope with this? And everybody's running from you like you got some type of disease that is going to kill everybody. When you say you've been able to do things with your kids, now what do you mean?
My daughter is 5. I'm able to finally pick her up.
Okay.
My son is 3, and when he was born, I was able to hold him, of course, but not physically hold him. It wasn't safe back when he was born. And then I keep challenging myself to see how strong I can get myself. Yesterday was surprisingly, I had the babies Sophie and Landon wanted mom to chase them, back to their room. And surprisingly, I was able to run, not landing on my face. So that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. And I with Landon, I wasn't able to hold him physically until after he reached his 2nd birthday because of my legs.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's something to be happy about.
Yeah. Yeah. Something. Yeah. What I tell people is, we have MS, but we either are going to choose to live with it and have a chance at our future, or we're going to choose to be so damn negative that nobody's going to want to be around us. And with my family, that would never happen. But it's just you gotta stay positive is what you have to do.
You know what?
It is as cliche as it is posting, and I think people say it all the time. You never find out how strong you really are until you are facing some real adversity, right? Yep. And ultimately that adversity is what drew that if you were to put your life on a road map, right? And the roads that you took, right? That adversity is just a fork in the road that you went up this way. Mm-hmm. And well, guess what? That fork in the road might have led you by the Grand Canyon and through Niagara Falls or whatever, right? And so, do you take that fork in the road away?
Yeah.
Because it yeah, I would love for a cure for MS. Don't get me wrong, right? Like I would love to be cured with, and I hope for that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I have learned about myself from this disease and what it has changed in me and making me not give up, right? Like
There you go.
It's certainly made me more persistent when I struggle with something because of the disease. That just makes me work harder now.
Yep.